Purdue on a 5-game win streak, and the Mackey Arena faithful, especially the Paint Crew student section, they are ready to go for some Sunday night basketball on BTN. IUPUI, they made the 1-hour drive up I-65 to West Lafayette to do battle with the Boilers. Let's get you right to the starting lineups. And for the visitors from Indianapolis, the guy to watch is Aaron Brennan, senior, dumping in nearly 15 points a game. For Purdue, the same starting lineup for all 12 contests. But Mr. Robbie Hummel, I know the guy you want to watch tonight is 44, Isaac Haas.
Yeah, Isaac Haas is playing the best basketball of his career here at Purdue. And, you know, he's always been a guy that when he keeps it simple, makes easy moves, doesn't try to do too much, he's been a guy that scored the basketball. But what's really impressed me the most about what Isaac has done is he's done it against a Maryland team with great size. Against Northwestern, he gets it done at the end of the game, you know, makes big-time baskets when they needed them at the end of regulation. So just having a great season. We'll see if he can exploit IUPUI's lack of size here today.
Yeah, if you're IUPUI, that's going to be a load to handle inside as we are underway from Mackey Arena. And the Boilers, wearing the grays, will have the first possession. With that 5-game win streak and some impressive wins, although not an impressive start, a turnover, and then a near collision there between McCall and Patterson, but IUPUI gets it. And turnovers the last 3 games, Purdue has been really good at handling the basketball. Single-digit turnovers the last 3 contests.
It's kind of reared its ugly head a couple times this season, but you're right. The last 3 games, they've done a really good job of not turning the basketball over.
That's part of this win streak. Into the paint, IUPUI coming in at 2-5 meanwhile, but a great start. 3-pointer by the sophomore Nick Rogers.
Yeah, Jason Gardner said it at shoot-around for us to win tonight. We're going to have to make threes, and really an ideal start for this Jaguar team. Get a turnover, knock a 3 down.
Yeah, he said at least 10, and they may need a few more than that. There is a foul defensively out on the perimeter. Matt Painter searching for win number 300 tonight in his career. All but one of his seasons as the head coach at Purdue, the other one at Southern Illinois. Pretty impressive for him, and obviously a guy that you played for, Robbie, to already be up at 299.
I mean, he's got it done in most seasons. He's had a couple, 2 down years, really. But other than that, here at Purdue, he's had great success.
But the Jags are throwing the first punch, a steal and a bucket for DJ McCall, and it's 5-zip. And uncharacteristic, 2 early turnovers for Purdue.
Always interesting to see these finals games. You've got tests coming up. You see Butler on the schedule. Sometimes it's tough in these early games to get a rhythm going, and we've seen that from Purdue here today.
And finals starting tomorrow. And all over campus, they were cramming, getting ready today. And, of course, these guys out there on the hardwood, and that counts for them, too. IUPUI most recently coming off a loss on Wednesday to SIU Edwardsville by a point, a loss they were really disappointed about. And Purdue had a blowout win over Valparaiso, another in-state school. 3-pointers, the shot clock is going down, is airballed by Ron Patterson. Some good defense that time for Purdue. And here they go into Isaac Haas. And he's just too much.
I mean, that's a big-time move. The double team is coming from the top side. Isaac does a great job of reading it, spinning back to the baseline, and scores the ball with his right hand.
And it's going to sound simple, but as you were alluding to earlier, you double Haas, he can kick out to great shooters. If not, he's just going to do what he did there.
If you're going to double team him, you have to come from different places. You can't come from the same place over and over. He's too good a player. He'll recognize that. You can send somebody for a 4-man from a cutter. You can send somebody from the 4-man. But you just got to mix it up.
From the elbow, one-hander, air ball for Rogers.
Purdue is locked in defensively these last 2 possessions. IUPUI not able to get anything out of their offense.
I think their coach was giving them a dirty look from the sideline. Nice jumper for Carson Edwards just inside the arc.
And pick and roll with Purdue is such an effective tool because when you have a guy that can roll to the rim and you spread it out with shooters, there's not a lot you can do in that situation.
Carson Edwards, sometimes lost in the mix, is the fact that he's leading Purdue in scoring at over 16 a game. Evan Hall trying to take on the bigger Isaac Haas, and he thought better of 5 to shoot. Patterson, the Syracuse transfer, gives it to Brennan. On the rim, and finally fell off into the hands of Haas.
That got every part of the rim there and did not go down for Brennan.
It's a heck of a job by Brennan just to get that shot off with Edwards flying at him, trying to block it. 2 men guarding Haas inside, so Vincent Edwards says, I'll take it, and he will head to the line. But if you don't pay a lot of attention to Haas, this is what happens.
Yeah, take a look. DJ McCall here is going to come from that top side, and Isaac Haas just does a great job of spinning to the rim. And here's that pick and roll we talked about. You are really in a bind there when Isaac is rolling to the rim. You've got a player as good as Carson Edwards. He can give you a little hesitation. He can pull up. He can get to the rim. You know, you tell me. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you have to really pick a poison. How do we want to get beat? And that's what good teams do.
Well, I'll be interested to track if they do what you suggested, throw different doubles at Isaac Haas as the game goes on. 2 free throws good for Vincent Edwards, and that's something that Purdue also does very well, getting to the line. That's knocked away by Carson Edwards. It hit the official over on the sideline, Steve McJunkins, and it will belong with IUPUI.
Carson's saying, come on, Steve. Got to get out of the way.
He is part of the floor, but the ball still hit the sideline. Purdue, with those last 2 free throw makes, they have hit over 200 free throws this year. You compare that to IUPUI, who's only hit 91. And we're going the other way. That's a foul on the Jags. Number 31, Maurice Kirby, with an illegal screen. IUPUI got the first 5, Purdue the last 6. Back in West Lafayette, IUPUI scored the first 5 points. Purdue responded with 6 straight of their own. And we welcome you courtside along with Robbie Hummel. I'm Brandon Gaud. So Purdue, the first 2 possessions were turnovers, but now they're settling in.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy play there, which is surprising considering the fact they really haven't turned the ball over much in their last 3 games. But you're right, they've gotten into a rhythm, kind of used some pick and roll action to get some stuff going for them.
Yeah, those last 3 games, as you're alluding to, single-digit turnovers, and the first time that that's happened since 2011-2012.
Yeah, I was on that team.
I was just going to say, I think that the man to my right knows a little bit about that squad that year.
We might not have had a lot of good players, but we could not turn the basketball over, that's for sure.
You protected the rock.
We did.
Inside out and back into Haas. Airball on the turnaround. Vincent Edwards, though, rebounding so much better this year, and then an errant pass trying to feed it to the fellow big Haas.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. Vincent Edwards doing a great job on the boards, and it's so important because Isaac Haas, while he can rebound, doesn't really rebound outside of his area at that high of a level for a guy that's 7'1", 7'2". So for this team, you know, Vince Edwards has got to be a guy that gets 8-9 rebounds a game.
Ironically, is that a big weakness for Haas, the fact that he is not up around 8 rebounds a contest?
I mean, I guess you could say. I think it's something that he knows he needs to work on, but it's hard when you're that big. You know, you've got to chase rebounds down. It's a difficult deal.
Well, he has been providing it on the offensive end, that's for sure, at 15 points a game. Especially when you figure that he's only playing 22 minutes a game. It's not like he's up at 32, 33 minutes a contest.
Right.
Here he's getting shoved in the back by Maurice Kirby. Jason Gardner, there's a guy who had a lot of success at North Central High School in Indianapolis, was Indiana Mr. Basketball, went on to have the great career at Arizona as a player, and now 4th season for IUPUI.
Well, I remember watching him in high school and at Arizona. That man, he could play. I think you have a family connection there.
Yeah, yeah, he beat my brother's team at semi-state his senior year, and the game was not very pretty.
You know what? When you're playing against a stud, that's usually what happens. So.
But he was a legend in this state and a legend at Arizona. His number 22 now sits in the rafters.
Well deserved.
6'5" Boilers, little over 5 minutes in. Matthias off the mark, a little heavy from deep. Jalen Manette, he's the only true freshman in the rotation for Jason Gardner. They do have experience for IUPUI, but quite a few transfers. They're trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Defensively especially. You know, they have not done a good job this season of guarding the basketball. And I think, you look at the pieces, they've got some guys who can play and who have played in some big places too. It's really just been a process for them to put it all together and be a finished product.
Purdue 4th turnover. Up ahead, Kirby handling it and flashing it.
Turnovers coming in were a story, and maybe for not this reason, because Purdue has not been as sure with the basketball as we've seen in these last 3 games. IUPUI will just make a play. And we're going to see Isaac Haas doing a good job of being patient with that double team.
Well, Brennan showed for a second, went back, and Haas took advantage.
And he saw it the whole way. And you see good players in the post. They are always aware of where the post trap is coming from. And right there, he saw the stunt, saw it go away, went to work.
8-7 Purdue. Coming in with a number 21 ranking, but with all the volatility this week in college basketball, if they can win here, you figure that number's going to go up in the right direction. Edwards to Edwards. Vincent to Carson for the lay-in for two.
And what do you always see in college basketball? When teams are struggling offensively, you can get it going on the defensive end, get yourself an easy bucket. We'll see if this can kind of spur this Boilermaker offense on.
Oilers 4 of 8 from the floor. The Jaguars 3 of 8 so far. Here's one of those transfers. Mo Kirby spent the last 2 years at Loyola. He kicks it out. And Manette with the pesky Matthias all over him. And a foul is called on Matthias. A little too pesky there. Shots coming.
IUPUI run a little pick and roll action here, and take a look at Vince Edwards. Great rotation, and when your four-man can start the break, it is such an advantage for your basketball team. You don't have to get it to a guard. Vince, a guy that can just take it off the bounce, take it off the glass, go coast to coast, finds his point guard, and gets him an easy look.
One of those very talented seniors, Vincent Edwards. What a senior class it is for Matt Painter. As the first free throw drops down for Jalen Manette. You just don't have many Power 5 programs that trot out 4 seniors with the production that these 4 have.
It's really an old school, I guess, type mentality almost, where guys are always leaving your program, whether it's for transfers or going to the the NBA or overseas. But you got to commend these guys. They have done such a good job in this program of really bringing it back, because there was those 2 years there where it really wasn't very good here in West Lafayette, and these guys came in. Now there was some pieces here. Rayfeld Davis is a really good player, a really good leader, but these guys came in and set the tone, and it's paid off. They're Big Ten champions. They've accomplished a lot here in West Lafayette.
Yeah, they certainly have, and one of the new faces that they're hoping will accomplish a lot. Matt Harms is out on the floor, number 32 in gray, but here it's Vincent Edwards kicking out for a three-pointer that's off the mark from P.J. Thompson. Offensive board, though, by Edwards. How about another try for the same corner? And no again. P.J. Thompson, a 51% three-point shooter this year, missing both. Stop and pop. Manette buries it.
He's got a big-time reputation as a scorer. Coming out of Terre Haute South, he is the all-time leading scorer in that high school's history. Also an Indiana All-Star, and not shy there.
He averaged 26 a game last year as a senior there. Here's Harms. Oh, he may have walked. They're going to call an offensive foul.
Charge.
So an early foul for the redshirt freshman, Matt Harms.
You see it here. He slips out of the pick and roll, and not sure he was given any space to land there, but he might have, he probably did travel.
Yeah, I think he actually traveled before, and you would have rather had the travel than the foul. And speaking of fouls, there's one on P.J. Thompson. So things a little herky-jerky early for the 21st ranked team in the land. And Matt Painter thinking, well, maybe that 300th win won't come as easily as I had hoped. Because earlier this week against Valparaiso, they jumped out to a huge lead.
It was a dominant performance.
Yeah.
I think they were really up to play a Valpo team that came in undefeated. There was kind of some talk about, is Purdue on an upset alert or whatnot, and I think these guys came in and just handled business.
Yeah, 80-50 was the final against Valparaiso. A little bit different here, though. IUPUI up 3 early. Basketball on BTN is brought to you in part by State Farm, here to help life go right, and also by Country Mart. Get more per gallon. Star Wars night at Mackey Arena. Those are the legit Star Wars content.
How about the Hollywood grade costumes here?
Wow,
those aren't your Halloween ones.
No, those aren't the pajamas that you get at Walmart.
No.
IUPUI up 13-10. A little bit of a surprise here early in West Lafayette. T.J. Henderson. Fadeaway 3, and it will drop. IUPUI's hit 3 from downtown early.
They are certainly a confident basketball team right now, and I have to say, I think just turnovers early were able to get them into a rhythm, and they've made some shots. Right now, IUPUI not backing down from this Boilermaker team.
Well, their coach Jason Gardner, as we said earlier, he mentioned we need to hit at least 10 threes. They're already 3 of 6, and here's Purdue's 6th turnover. And another triple try, and that is good for T.J. Henderson. It's 19-10. Timeout, Purdue. The Jags right now shocking the Boilermakers.
And they're shooting the ball at a high level and forcing turnovers. And when you can do that as a small team and come in and gain confidence, you can hang around. And right now they're doing a lot more than hanging around. They are playing with this Purdue team. Purdue has not done a good job of imposing their will using their size, but it's really been turnovers the story of the game. And some of really Purdue's more experienced guys, Carson Edwards, Dakota Mathias, guys that have played a lot of Big Ten basketball, have really been the culprits here. And IUPUI has been able to take advantage of that.
I think that's what's most surprising to me. You mentioned it, the guards, Thompson, Mathias, Edwards, and Klein coming into this game combined. 121 assists, 48 turnovers, but that has not been the case here as you see the season total. Matt Painter, though, looks calm right now, at least.
He does look composed. And I've seen him look like that. I've also seen him look, otherwise.
But he never got mad at you during your playing days.
I wish I could say that never happened, but he might have been mad at me a couple times.
Here's Robbie Hummel. I'm Brandon Gunn, and there is another turnover right through the wickets of Nojel Eastern off the bench for the pass from Klein.
And sometimes turnovers can be a little contagious, and Nojel Eastern just doesn't watch the pass into his hands there. IUPUI looking to take advantage yet again. And those are the turnovers, though, Brandon, that you can live with, because that's a dead ball turnover. The ones where IUPUI is getting runouts, and we see Nojel Eastern getting that basketball back. But the turnovers that are in the open court where IUPUI gets an open three are the ones that you really cannot have as a good basketball team.
So you've got Eastern out there. You've got Harms, a couple of freshmen. You've got a young guy, well, not young, but younger, junior and Klein. Maybe Matt Painter a little frustrated with the older guys that were out there on the floor.
They say the greatest motivator is the bench. And right now, some of those more experienced guys are over there.
The two Edwards kids are still out there, and one of them, Carson, missed that three-pointer. So IUPUI with a chance to get a bigger lead. Boy, nobody is shy right now in a black uniform. Jalen Minette, though, off the mark. Here is Klein, an excellent three-point shooter. He's going to drive it inside, though. Kick to the opposite corner. Edwards had the three, passed it up, and then drove, and it got kicked out, they'll say, off of the Jags.
I think Ryan Klein, he's injured down here in the corner. I think maybe he's grabbing his ankle.
You're exactly right. He fell and immediately reached down in that left ankle area. Get another look.
Just kind of lands on DJ McCall's foot right there. It's good to see him walk off the floor.
Yeah, it didn't look like a full roll. That doesn't mean that it didn't hurt or it's not serious, but yeah, he fell right on McCall's foot. You're right. So the junior sharpshooter will walk gingerly over to the bench.
He's a guy that in the last two games has really started to come on. I mean, he's not only made shots in those games, but he's made plays for others as well.
Yeah, he's 5 of 7 from outside the arc. And that's something right now that Purdue needs, because they're 0 of 6 from long distance, and this is a 40% three-point team in Purdue.
We've seen it this year. Purdue has kind of been hit or miss from the three-point line. They started out the season on fire, and then the Bahamas kind of went into a little lull. They've kind of gotten back on track in this 5-game winning streak, but struggling certainly tonight.
Instead of a three, taking it to the basket this time, Carson Edwards, and he'll end up at the line.
That is exactly what you should do as a shooter when you don't have your jump shot going. Get that ball to the rim. And Carson Edwards is as good as anyone in the country at getting to the rim. And right there, he explodes, gets to his left hand, and has a chance here for an easy 2 points.
Also drew the second foul on Evan Hall, junior power forward for IUPUI. And because of that, Hall will head to the bench and back into the game. Aaron Brennan, the leading scorer on the season at 14.9 points. And Isaac Haas returns for Purdue.
You see him stand next to these IUPUI bigs. He towers them.
It's like the Jolly Green Giant out there. Free throw good on the second attempt as well for Carson Edwards. He has 6. You stand before him, and look, you're a big guy. I'm only 5'10". I stand beside Isaac Haas. I feel like a shark bite.
I will say this, he is one of the few guys that I've been around that I feel small. And that counts even guys that I've played against and with that are 7 foot tall.
There's a travel by T.J. Henderson. Even the NBA guys that you played against? Well, watch the big fella. He's disrupting here.
And that's what he does. His size, IUPUI is thinking about it. When they go to the rim, they know he is there. And yeah, I'd have to say, you know, even those guys, some of them in the NBA, he is up there with one of the bigger people I've ever seen. Right there, that is a complete position basket for Isaac Haas. He seals his man right inside of that charge arc. And when he posts that deep, there is nothing you can do, especially when you're undersized as these IUPUI bigs are tonight.
A half dozen now for the senior from Oaks Bluff, Alabama. Purdue was down 19-10 on a mini 4-0 run, trying to quiet that run, but off the mark, Elijah Goss, and then tracking down the rebound, Vincent Edwards.
If I'm Purdue right now, I am either taking this basketball to the rim or I'm getting it to Isaac Haas.
Well, how about that? That worked.
Vincent Edwards right there off the glass. With his size, he has that ability. Bring that basketball up the court, see a matchup he likes, get to his spot, and knock down the jumper.
He's the only Boilermaker that's been in double figures every game this year. And there's a turnover the other direction. It's the other Edwards. Carson taking it right into the chest of DJ McCall. It's an 8-0 Purdue run. Timeout IUPUI. So Purdue starting to come to life. They're back within a penny with 8:24 left in the first half. Purdue and Isaac Haas specifically starting to try to impose their will with that size advantage inside.
And Purdue doing a good job. Take a look. Isaac Haas does such a good job of reading where the basketball is. Nice little spin move, seals his man, able to finish with the undersized big. Then he leads the break here, gets it to his guard, and Carson Edwards in the open floor, as good as anyone at scoring in the paint. Purdue turning defense into offense as they've not been able to shoot the basketball in the half court. Certainly something that can get yourself going when you're struggling.
Carson Edwards was pretty crafty there with that off arm, right?
Maybe a little benefit there.
Inside, nice pass and an easy finish for Maurice Kirby.
And IUPUI did a great job of getting in that paint multiple times and finding the big there for the layup.
Purdue 0 of 6 from outside the arc, and you see what they've done inside now. 8 of 10 from two-point land.
And I absolutely love that set because you run Dakota Mathias on a pro cut across the paint, all eyes on him, everyone thinking about his ability to score the basketball, and really you are just doing it so you can throw it to your 7-2 center who has nice position and scores the ball.
They're going to give Maurice Kirby that shot, and that is why. Bad off the mark.
Probably one that Jason Gardner would like to have back right there.
Vincent Edwards, a little heavy from downtown, to the weak side into the hands of Patterson. And McCall will set up shop up top, the junior from Fort Wayne. Here's Nick Rogers off the bounce, and he lost it right into the chest of Isaac Haas.
IUPUI having their own turnover issues.
Yeah, they now have 6. Purdue was 7. Vincent Edwards matched up with Brennan. He'll shoot it right over him and bury it.
And that's something that he is so comfortable in doing. When he posts up and he faces the basket, he has an ability to shoot or drive it. Right there, sizes his man up, lets it fly.
So Purdue was down 19-10, now up 22-21. Dangerous pass, 7 turnovers now for the Jags.
The Purdue defense tightening its grip here on the IUPUI offense, not letting any passes or drives go through to the paint.
Edwards into Vincent Edwards. Yeah, that's going to be a tie-up. DJ McCall stepping in and grabbing it. Possession arrow the other way.
Pretty good defense there by IUPUI, but that play for Vincent Edwards is set up. When he makes that last shot, we see he turns. He is so comfortable uses that head fake. Unfortunately for him, that IUPUI defense is sucked in there, able to tie him up for a jump ball. But I'd keep going back to it. That's something that he is really good at. He has a size advantage. Can shoot the basketball. Really a tough guy to defend.
And Vincent Edwards making his 103rd start here. He has been a fixture in the lineup for Matt Painter for a long time. Nice behind the back dribble. McCall gives it off to Rogers, who will step back and fire. All gray shirts for the rebound. Carson Edwards, so good at attacking, finding Haas, and Rogers was hanging all over Haas. Nick Rogers at 6'1", trying to contend with 7'2", Isaac Haas inside.
It's a tough battle.
Yeah,
when you're giving up that kind of size.
That's not a fair fight.
It is. It is tough. He does a good job of rolling right to that rim. Carson Edwards slips that pass right in there.
Isaac Haas now 60 of 74 at the line this year. He's come so far in this department from his freshman year.
Huge improvements. You're right. And when you have a center that's going to get fouled as much as Isaac, it is such a luxury for him to be able to knock down free throws at that rate.
He now has 10 points, up over 80% from the line on the season. Purdue as a team is better than 75% this year. Brennan catch and release three. And Haas there to clean it up. So Purdue, they have woken up, and now they're trying to separate. That will help. Carson Edwards with a pretty finish.
You can see it all the way down. He was looking at that rim. He knew he was going to take it to the basket. Nice little spin move. And Carson Edwards finds himself another easy two.
It's been the Edwards and Haas show. They each have 10 now. Brennan driving on Harms, and he gets fouled.
Carson Edwards looking at the rim the whole way down. Not much DJ McCall can do with the powerful guard. He's a guy, he's built more like he should be playing defensive back than guard. I mean, he is an incredible athlete.
Yeah, his legs are like tree trunks, especially given his size. So Aaron Brennan will go to the line. 74% this season, and knocks down the first. Klein, who rolled his ankle earlier, nice to see him back out there.
Certainly a guy that this Purdue team needs if they want to make a run at the Big Ten championship, try to repeat, make a deep run in March. He's a guy they need to come off the bench and provide some scoring.
He was great against Northwestern here last Sunday, 13 points. Provided a huge spark in that victory.
And hit some major league shots. I mean, he was big time down the stretch. But he's another guy that's been through it. You know, he has played in a lot of games. He's poised. Really added a nice little dimension this year in terms of being able to take the ball to the rim. Maybe not for himself, but to find others.
Yeah, he shot 3 two-point attempts in that game. I was like, what's going on here? But
very unusual.
I know, right? Off the mark for Carson Edwards from downtown. And Purdue's now 0 of 8 from three-point land. Still up by 3, however.
Great cut.
That was a great cut and a great pass from Kirby.
And maybe something that can get Aaron Brennan going. He is this team's leader in scoring. And so far, he's got a tough matchup. Nothing like an easy bucket to get you going, though.
A lot of Indiana talent on both sides. Brennan's an Indianapolis kid. Harms, he is far away from Indianapolis from the Netherlands. There's his first bucket.
He did a great job there just working that baseline, finding an open area in the defense, and takes it to the rim.
He's been known this season for his energy and his shot blocking, but they're providing 2 points on the other end. Nick Rogers kicking out to McCall. And that Purdue defense strong, 7 to shoot. Rogers crossover on Klein. Offensive rebound, Kirby, and a nice putback over Haas.
Really, that's been a weakness for this Purdue team all season. When they've struggled in games, they have not rebounded well on the defensive end of the floor, and right there, they just don't close the possession out. Maurice Kirby does a good job of staying with it and has a nice right-hand hook.
Well, Kirby only averages 4, but he has 6 now, and there is Purdue's first three-pointer. It comes by the man we were talking about, Ryan Klein. 97th three-pointer in his career. Brennan, he'll take that all day. Off the heel. And the little guy, Carson Edwards, coming in to grab it. And he wants to take it coast to coast. And he got fouled.
Carson Edwards, first of all, goes up and gets the rebound over Isaac Haas. Not many guards in the country that can make this play. And Ryan Klein taking advantage of this zone. Purdue getting it done here in the first half.
Purdue did trail by 9, but they're on a 23-8 run right now. And a moment ago hit their first three-pointer. Ryan Klein did. That's going to be our State Farm assist of the game.
And if you're going to zone this Purdue team, you better know where Ryan Klein is, especially on the three-point line, because that is really what he does. And right there, they just lose track of him in the corner. And he takes that assist and knocks it down.
So Purdue now 1 of 9 from long range. One guy that's been very effective around the rim is the man that's at the line right now, Carson Edwards.
I think he's made a concerted effort to get in that paint. Uses athleticism to get to the rim. He's done a really good job of finishing those plays.
He has 13 points, and he's going to get a well-deserved breather. And the Boilers have expanded the advantage to 7. Henderson passing to Kirby, off balance, somehow got it to go. How about 8 points for Maurice Kirby, who averages 4?
And a big-time catch right there. Keeps his balance and able to finish at the rim. It's been a nice little surprise here off the bench for this IUPUI team. Better find Matthias, though.
It was a nice skip. Matthias couldn't oblige on the shot. But Maurice Kirby, another one of those transfer kids. I mentioned he was at Loyola. Actually started his career at Virginia Tech, then went to a JUCO in Kansas. All part of the pieces that Jason Gardner is trying to put together. And another one of those pieces, DJ McCall, with a great shot off the glass.
That's just a nice individual play. I mean, pretty good defense there by Ryan Klein. Puts a hand in McCall's face, but does not matter there. Just better offense.
So just when you thought Purdue might start to separate, IUPUI comes back with a couple straight buckets. Here's Klein. Got it.
Ryan Klein comes off on the set play. And Dakota Matthias makes sure to find his shooter. All good guards know when they've got a man who's hot and feeling it. Right now, Ryan Klein has that look.
You mentioned it earlier, Robbie, but now dating back the last 3 games, he's 7 of 9 from outside the arc. Less than 90 seconds to go in the first half. Henderson backs it up, looks up at the shot clock, and here we go. Going to try to do it himself, and it's a bad idea. Vincent Edwards says, no, sir. 2 seconds to shoot for IUPUI. Stay tuned. State Farm Halftime Report. Rick Piso, Ben Brush, Sean Morris. They'll break down the first half, recap the weekend of Big Ten basketball. That's next on the State Farm Halftime Report. Catch and shoot. No good from downtown for Elijah Goss. Klein again from the other side. That time, no. Knocked out and off of Vincent Edwards, once again crashing the offensive glass. A great look, though, for Klein.
Yeah, and he's coming off looking to shoot. It's what you want from your junior. Kind of got it going here on this afternoon. That's another set play. Purdue certainly has a good amount of those. It's pretty incredible to see what the playbook has become. Greg Gary, one of their assistant coaches, a great offensive mind.
Has the playbook changed a lot from when you were here a few years ago?
In a way, they still run some motion offense, but a lot of the sets, are different. A few of them are the same, but for the most part, they run some really different things.
Three-pointer almost banked in by Jalen Manette. And now Matt Painter puts up his hand and says, hold on, Vincent Edwards. Let's just get one more shot here. And maybe they'll run one of those mini sets here. Boilers were down 19-10. A strong finish to this half. Can they put the exclamation mark on it? Klein. Up top, Thompson. Got it!
Brian Klein. We talked about it. He's really incorporated that ability to get to the rim and find his teammates. Comes off a triple screen, gets in the paint, finds his point guard, and P.J. Thompson knocks down the three going into the half.
Excellent job by Klein, as you said, navigating his way inside.
And this is just a play that he does not make in the previous years he's been at Purdue. Finds his guy, P.J. Thompson, who is shooting 51% on the year from three, and gives this Purdue team a nice boost going into the half.
So IUPUI led by as many as 9 points, and now Purdue takes their largest lead at 9 points into intermission. A great first half in West Lafayette. The Boilers settling in, looking for their 6th straight win. We'll toss it to Rick Pizzo and friends back in Chicago after this. Ended the first half very strong and stretched it out to a 9-point advantage, their largest of the lead. And one thing that helped them stretch that lead, they shot the ball a little bit better.
Yes, they did. And Ryan Klein came off the bench and made an immediate impact. We see him in the corner here. Purdue going to run a little triple screen action. For Klein, he gets any daylight. Obviously a lot there, but any daylight is enough for him. Next possession down, a little misdirection here. Ryan Klein's away from the basketball, but if you're not paying attention, there is a double screen on the baseline. And as we talked about in the first half, he has added this to his game, an ability to find his teammates. Finds P.J. Thompson, who knocks down the three. We'll see if that momentum can carry over into the second half, Brandon.
He will begin the second half, as he usually does, on the bench. Same starting 5, all 12 games for Matt Painter's club, and they are back out there, including the senior crew. And inside, a pass deflected. Dakota Mathias threw that pass to the post, and he didn't score in the first half. That's a guy that I'm sure they want to get going.
Yeah, and he didn't score in the first half against Valpo in their last game either. And I think, you know, you see him, he's usually so sharp. And tonight, just a little off in terms of his jump shot. I think even that last play is a good indicator. He is so good at throwing the basketball in the post. IUPUI gets a hand on that post entry pass. We'll see if he can kind of sharpen things up here. Get himself going.
2 passes knocked into the first row, 12 seconds in, and then that one taken away. So the second half starting off like the first did for Purdue. 8 turnovers in that first half for the Boilers, and now there was number 9.
And the majority of them coming in the first 10 minutes of that half.
And it was a rocky start and then a solid finish. Ron Patterson, Syracuse transfer, finding McCall, and he kicks to the corner. Beautiful shot fake, three-pointer, short from Nick Rogers. Vincent Edwards leads the charge. Now Carson Edwards off the glass with a one-handed runner.
Off start of the mid-range jumper, and P.J. Thompson would make a little play here for his Boilermaker team.
Defense trying to scramble to recover. Mathias threw it away, trying to slip it into Haas. Rogers lost it. Crowd wanted a double dribble, and that's exactly what they will get.
Well, Vincent Edwards impacted that shot from half court, and Nick Rogers was looking at him the whole way, thinking about how can I finish over the length of Vincent Edwards, and ended up just double dribbling the ball right out of bounds.
That's the 9th turnover for the Jaguars, who are 2-5, only 1 win this year against Division I competition. Bad pass and almost another turnover for Purdue. It actually ends up with a foul against DJ McCall of IUPUI.
And Isaac Haas has been so much better this year at passing out of that double team. Fortunate there that Carson Edwards is just a high-level athlete and goes up and gets this basketball. But to me, Isaac just turned and flung that. When he takes his time, he is so good, but he sometimes finds himself in a little bit of a hurry.
17 points now for Carson Edwards.
The left hand has been good to him tonight. He has found himself getting to his left multiple times here for Purdue. While he hasn't had the best game from the perimeter, he certainly has gotten it going to the basket.
Last year averages 10 points a game. This year 16 a game, and as we said, 17 already tonight. Brennan can't finish at the rim.
Again, a product of Purdue size. He really rushed that shot, kind of wished it up there, didn't actually shoot the basketball.
Brennan, the undersized 6'6" big, this time from side. So you mentioned Edwards had not gotten the three-point shot going until right there. He has 20.
Well, it's just a matter of time with that young man, because he has so much ability, and he's gotten to his left all night. Right now, it is all the Carson Edwards show.
Purdue starting the second half on a 7-0 run and leading at 47-31. Largest lead of the night for the Boilers. If you weren't with us when the game started, IUPUI, they were very strong early. Got out to a 19-10 lead as Vincent Edwards is being held by Brennan. So another IUPUI turnover. And the three-point shooting has gotten a lot better for Matt Painter's crew after starting 0 of 8. That's our country mark on the mark three-point shooting description for tonight.
Ryan Klein kind of broke that ice. Now we see Carson Edwards getting himself going with some easy buckets and finally finds the bottom of the net there on his fourth three-point attempt of the night.
And they're trying to reset the shot clock. Bo Borowski's over at the scorer's table. There we go. Not a big deal, but I'm not sure why it wouldn't be at 30 seconds. But at any rate, Haas passing out of that double team across the way. Matthias still scoreless. And Vincent Edwards. Matthias trying to get off the goose egg, and he does.
It's amazing how shooting can be contagious. You see some of your teammates knock a couple looks down from the outside, and all of a sudden, you feel a little better about your jump shot.
And a technical foul was just assessed against Evan Hall of IUPUI. Not sure what he said, but whatever it was, Bo Borowski did not like it, and he teed him up.
Bo wasted no time there.
And Jason Gardner's team starting to crumble a little bit here in West Lafayette.
Are they reviewing something? Was there a... They're going over to the monitor.
Yeah, they are at the monitor. So maybe it wasn't just something that Evan Hall said. Maybe it was something he did as well. But Purdue has scored the first 10 points of the second half to open up a 19-point advantage. He's talking right there with Isaac Haas.
That's a big man to talk to like that. That's the guy talking trash to him. It's a big boy.
That's 6'6", 190 talking to 7'2", 290. So you're giving up 8 inches and 100 pounds.
You got to pick your battles. I mean, as a player, there's certain guys that we see it on the inside, certainly going at it. That's a part of Owen. He does get hit with a little elbow there, so I can see maybe where Evan Hall would not like that.
And maybe that's what they're taking a look at. Maybe Evan Hall triggered them to go to the monitor.
That could be.
And then there was the technical assessed against the junior. Let's see it from this angle.
You see his head snap back, but it's hard to see because the net is in the way.
And you could also just make the case that Isaac Haas was starting to block out.
Certainly. You're that big as a human being. I mean, there's some times where it seems like it's hard to control such long limbs.
DJ McCall has gone to the bench after the technical. And they're getting one more look at this last play.
He does get him.
There was a little fling of that left arm at the end.
It was.
And right now, Bo Borowski's coming over and talking to my broadcast partner, Robbie Hummel, so we'll get the word here in just a moment. So Vincent Edwards, though, the technical was assessed either way against McCall, and the first free throw is good. So you just got the word from Bo Borowski. What did he say?
So there is a technical foul on Evan Hall for an unsporting technical, and that's just for the jump. And they did take a look at Isaac Haas's elbow, and they ruled it inadvertent, so it will be IUPUI basketball.
So the 2 free throws good for Purdue. McCall still on the bench now with 3 fouls. And the Jaguars will try to dig out of a deep hole here at Mackey Arena.
They've got to get something going in the paint. They've had success tonight when they've gotten that basketball in the painted area and they could work their way out to the perimeter from there.
But now their shooting has dropped to 37%, and that won't help. Patterson missed. Long rebound, Brennan. And then Rogers threw it right to Carson Edwards. Good job by the sophomore, stepping right into the passing lane. Haas inside, catch, turn, shoot, score.
And that is another action that's designed to get Isaac Haas an easy look. You're flaring Dakota Mathias. The defense is worried about it. Throw it right into your 7-2 center. Easy jump hook. Great offense for this Purdue team.
That's a dozen now for Haas. He could not affect the shot too much there. Maurice Kirby, who's now in double figures with 10.
He's had a nice night, but Purdue's defense right there just completely falls asleep on the backside. And there's pick and roll action, and this side is completely emptied out. You've got to have a man under there on that possession. Purdue failed to do so.
Taking it around to Edwards. How about that? A nifty move, and then the other Edwards with a rebound. The basket as well. No, they say offensive. We're going the other way. But Purdue still leading by 21 at the under-16 media timeout. Just inside of 16 minutes left at Mackey Arena. Purdue up by 21 points, 54-33. Brandon Gaudin, Robbie Hummel with you. And beginning of the game, not so great for Purdue. How have they separated?
Well, Ryan Klein, I think he was really a spark plug there for this Purdue basketball team. Really got them going into the half. And Carson Edwards just kind of taking the reins from there and really got it done for this Purdue squad.
Yeah, Carson Edwards, 20 points right now to lead Matt Painter's crew, and Matt Painter maybe can start to smell that 300th career victory. He's won 274 so far here at Purdue. He won 25 in his lone season at Southern Illinois. So on the doorstep of number 300. Now can the Jags try to get one last gasp here before Purdue pulls away? That's not going to help. Kirby with a good look. But the Boilers flailing inside as Haas and Edwards went tumbling to the floor. So the Jags will get a fresh possession out of it. And then it's Edwards going to the floor, tying it up. The arrow will stay on this end. He's in pretty good company, by the way, as he searches for win number 300. These are the coaches, active coaches, to do it in 14 or fewer seasons. This is Matt Painter's 14th at Purdue.
And just a quality list right there, really. And I think, you know, in terms of Matt Painter being the head basketball coach at Purdue, he's won a lot of games, but at the end of the day, he's a much better guy. I mean, I think that he is a person that you want to send your kid to go play for. I mean, if I had a son that was 18 years old and was good enough to play, he'd be a guy that I'd say he's going to make him better, he's going to hold him accountable, he's going to make him into an adult.
Late in the shot clock, and that's going to go against IUPUI. They got Kirby with an illegal screen. Do you remember when Matt Painter sat in your living room?
Of course, yeah. I remember it well. I remember, you know, I had instant recruitment. Every school that I kind of was interested in, there was 3 of them. It was NC State, Indiana, and Purdue. 2 of the 3 of them, the coaches either got fired or they went other places. So, but you know what? Coach Payne did a great job of recruiting me, and we had a really good group of guys that all wanted to play together, and it was just a really good time in my life.
And had a lot of success here as well. He's Robbie Hummel. I'm Brandon Gaudin from Mackey Arena. Trying to go coast to coast, gentlemen. Net no good. It winds up in the hands of Isaac Haas. Mathias with a pass to Carson Edwards, right on point.
Well, a no-look action there by Dakota, and that's really an underrated part of his game. You know, he is a really elite passer at this level. Right there, gets Purdue an easy bucket.
22 points for Carson Edwards, 3 off his career high. That deserves another look, I think.
Here he is. Look one way, go the other, and Carson Edwards, the recipient there. That's a major league pass. That is a big-time pass.
Had his eyes on P.J. Thompson. Yeah, last year, a lot of people referred to Dakota Mathias as a glue guy, but he's much more than a glue guy.
He is. And, you know, they say that because he plays the right way, but he's so much more than that. And I think when you say glue guy, you think of a guy that's not necessarily a great or good player. But to me, he's a glue guy that also can score the basketball, and he makes his teammates better. And that's the ultimate compliment you can ever give a player.
Nice little hook shot from Isaac Haas.
And that was in complete rhythm, took his time. Really good post-entry pass there by P.J. Thompson. When you fire that ball in there, there's just a rhythm to it. And right there, Isaac Haas takes it. He's able to finish with his right hand.
And then Kirby with a one-hand shot of his own. He has a career-high 12 for IUPUI. 58-35 Boilers. P.J. Thompson dials it. Ripped down by Elijah Goss. Good movement in the net. Count it. And the foul on Mathias.
We talked about him earlier. He has a great experience of scoring the basketball throughout his career. And he has not been bashful, but he comes down, sees a matchup with Mathias that he likes. Nice little spin move there. He's going to have a chance to finish this for a three-point play.
Mathias did not like the call, but then again, they rarely do.
So true.
And now Jalen Manette, who is 9 of 10 at the line this year, steps up and rattles it down. Nogel Eastern back in the game. He had 20 minutes against Valparaiso on Thursday. And Matt Painter continues to find spots to get the freshman on the floor.
IUPUI going to go a little zone look here. That middle, definitely exploitable. Purdue choosing to attack with a little screen and roll action. Eastern just not able to knock it down.
And that's a part of Eastern's game. That wasn't an outside shot, but just his overall shooting is something that he really needs to improve, right?
Well, certainly his jump shooting, but I think he's had a tough start to his Purdue career. But with that being said, the ceiling is really high for him. He's a 6'6" point guard. He can really pass, and he can really get to the rim. And he's had some opportunities there, and he hasn't finished. But his time is coming. He's going to be a good player for this Purdue team.
Great one out of Evanston, Illinois. Right now it's Vincent Edwards. Kicking it to the corner to Dakota Mathias. But it was Eastern trying to keep it alive. He batted it, though, out to IUPUI. DJ Henderson crossing over Eastern, and then a little teardrop in the lane.
TJ Henderson right there got his game on, and he took advantage of the freshman's defense right there and got through his floater. Really nice move there by Henderson.
9 of the kids on the roster for IUPUI from Indiana, 4 from Indianapolis. And Henderson is another one of those. There's a foul inside. Vincent Edwards will be at the line when we get back with Purdue cruising up 18. First free throw good out of the timeout for Vincent Edwards. 9 points as now he will search for number 10. I mentioned earlier, only Purdue Boilermaker to be in double figures every game this season, and that trend continues.
He's done a great job again tonight on the glass for this Purdue team. He's a guy that Purdue needs to get 8-9 rebounds a game. They've had some issues, and tonight they've done a pretty good job of keeping this really undersized but IUPUI team off the glass.
Last year, 5 rebounds a game for Vincent Edwards. Now up around 9 contests as there's a foul on Matt Harms. But Vincent Edwards, his brother Bill played at Penn State, Miami of Ohio, and he was here at the first game of the season against SIU Edwardsville. And Vincent Edwards had 5 rebounds. He said his brother came up to him after the game and said, you need to get more than 5 rebounds a contest. And ever since then, he's really taken off.
Well, I played against Bill. He was at Penn State when I was here at Purdue, and a really hard-nosed, tough player, really talented guy. And he's right. I mean, he's absolutely right. Vincent Edwards needs to get more rebounds than 5. He's more than capable. And you look at what he's done. That graphic says it all. I mean, he's got 1,000-plus points, over 500 rebounds, over 300 assists. He's a versatile player. He's been a guy that Purdue fans have gotten to enjoy here for 4 years. He's had a great career.
Well, Matt Painter said at the start of the season, we need him to get 8 to 10 rebounds, and then he followed it up with, we'll see if he can do that, and he has answered the bell ever since that conversation with his brother.
Yes, he has.
His dad, Bill Sr., by the way, still the leading scorer and rebounder at Wright State over in Dayton. So good bloodlines for Vincent Edwards.
Yes, it is. They got to get Vincent Edwards the ball in the middle right there. Attack this zone.
Instead, it's Klein with 5 to shoot. Carson Edwards, three-pointer, top of the arc.
He's a guy that can catch that basketball at 2 or 3 on the shot clock and make something happen. And right there, he just rises and fires. That man is fearless.
And he ties his career high with 25 points as a sophomore. Inside, Elijah Goss, traveled.
Carson Edwards kind of pulled the chair out from under him right there. Goss getting ready to back him down, and there's nobody there.
That's a crafty move for a smaller defender.
Those guys know what they're doing. They've been posted up before. They know all the tricks of the trade.
A little extension of the pressure here by IUPUI, but no problem for the Boilermakers. So they're looking for their 6th consecutive win. Before that Valparaiso victory, those 4 really, really impressive wins over Arizona, Louisville, Maryland, and Northwestern. Driving to the basket, Vincent Edwards, 2 more. That was a heck of a stretch, though, with those 4 victories.
No, it was. I mean, it was almost a murderer's row on the schedule in terms of programs you're seeing. Arizona certainly going through some struggles in the Bahamas, but a good win nonetheless, and probably a win when you look at the end of the day. It's going to be one that's a very quality win.
Wow, Carson Edwards, speaking of the athleticism, but could not finish the dunk. And the other direction, we're going to get a foul, and it's going against the Jaguars. Wow. Good effort by Edwards, but to no avail. Tomorrow on BTN, doubleheader tipping off with women's basketball as Maryland takes on Loyola. Then Jordan Murphy in Minnesota battling Drake. All starting tomorrow right here on BTN, streaming live on BTN To Go and Fox Sports Go. If Carson Edwards would have thrown that thing down, that would have been the epitome of a BTN standout.
Yes, it would have.
I think everybody was shocked that he tried to rear back and throw it down. This time from 3. Harms offensive board. Klein on the kick out.
The best time to shoot threes off offensive rebounds. Matt Harms doing a great job keeping that possession alive and finding Ryan Klein.
All 9 of Klein's points behind the arc. No-Gel Eastern caused that disruption, and then on the other end, he lays it in.
Those are the kind of plays that No-Gel can make. I mean, he can use his length, disrupt this offense. Jason Gardner going to take a timeout and talk this over with his team.
As Purdue has expanded this to a 30-point advantage with 9:01 remaining. And the young freshman, No-Gel Eastern, getting into the scoring column for the first time.
Certainly using that wingspan there. Carson Edwards with a nice pass. And No-Gel Eastern is rewarded for that defensive effort. And Purdue's done a good job of getting their defense going for their offense all night. I mean, they struggled early in the game. And I really thought that defensively they kind of locked down, didn't let IUPUI do what they wanted to do. They've disrupted their offense. They've been able to use that to get some easy looks at the basket. They've gotten their outside game really going here.
And that's helped them expand this lead out to 30 points. As Matt Painter well on his way to that 300th victory. There's the offensive production so far this season for the Boilermakers, and you see where they rank in the Big Ten Conference, near the top in all those categories.
Yeah, and I think Purdue has almost gotten kind of an unfair stigma to them where people have said they want to plod and throw the ball inside. And while that's true to an extent because of their personnel and who they've had with A.J. Hammond, Isaac Haas, Caleb Swanigan, there has been more of a direction to throw that basketball inside. But when that ball is loose and you can take it off the board like Vincent Edwards can, Matt Painter's going to let you run, and he let us get out and go with our teams, and you've seen it here. This team is certainly very opportunistic in transition.
Yeah, I think you said it right, though, a misnomer that they can't get up and go. They can big time get up and go, especially as you said with Edwards running the show.
He's as explosive as anybody in the country.
And he's He's got the basketball right now. Purdue has also subbed in Brady Eifert for the first time, number 24 in gray, but it is Carson Edwards now with a new career high, 27 points.
He continues to do really whatever he wants on this IUPUI defense. He's lived at the rim tonight.
Averages 16, a team best, and that number is going to go up after this affair. And IUPUI has just had no answer, especially here in the second half, where they've only scored 9 points in almost 12 minutes. McCall in no man's land. Finds the cutter, but Harms disrupted the shot, and he's going to get called for the foul at the end of the shot clock.
Well, Matt Harms is he's still young. And I mean, he comes over, which he should do on this play. But you see it, he's going to swing his arms violently. He's 7'3". He does not need to do the Dikembe Mutombo block here where he's, destroys the floor with the ball. He can come over and just affect that shot. And that's a product of his youth. He's still young. He's still figuring this out. Use your size, use your length. If you can block it, great, but you don't need to spike that basketball into the stands.
Well, he's gotten a reputation early through these first 11 games with all the blocks. He's had 34 of them, and he's only playing 17 minutes a game.
He's had a great start to the season. I think he's really changed the perception of this Purdue defense because you see him in the paint. Isaac Haas is a big body, but he doesn't have the length or the athleticism really to get off the floor like Matt Harms does. So really a huge and pleasant surprise for this Purdue defense. But right there, you just need to tone that aggressiveness back just a little bit. He's got his man sealed.
And he's got the ball, and he will head to the line. 7:49 left at Mackey Arena. Harms heading to the line when we get back. Purdue up 30. Basketball on BTN is brought to you in part by State Farm, here to help life go right. It is Star Wars night in West Lafayette. Even Purdue Pete getting into the act. And how about this poster that the Athletic Communications Office put out?
Well, they have done a great job here at Purdue, just kind of stirring up interest for these over-break games, over Christmas games, and some fun for the fans. I think the students get into it. Star Wars is incredibly popular, and really a pretty cool poster there.
Some scary-looking guys, and a great job by our crew to put all that together. As Harms hits the first of 2 free throws. The deal tonight was if you bring in any canned food item, you get one of those posters. Last year, I think they said they got 800 cans, and they're hoping to get more than that tonight.
Certainly a great cause.
Absolutely. I got to say, though, that's a nice poster. I don't want that in my bedroom, personally. I don't want that Isaac Haas.
Isaac Haas with the laser gun looking at you all night?
No, that would go in my basement under some old books.
There you go, in the man cave.
74-42, all Purdue right now. Boilermakers shooting 57% from the floor, and IUPUI under 37%. Kirby's been one bright spot, but just as I say that, he throws it away trying to feed Aaron Brennan.
That was a very good defensive possession for this Purdue team. We've said it multiple times tonight. There's just nowhere for IUPUI to go.
Purdue will get a break after this before finals that start this week, and then next Saturday, that big Crossroads Classic event that'll be on Fox at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis when Purdue plays Butler and Indiana plays Notre Dame. Brennan running to the rim in transition.
One of the few fast break points IUPUI has been able to get at all tonight. Purdue done a pretty good job getting back in transition there, but Brennan does a nice job of running the floor.
That Crossroads Classic event, though, in Indianapolis, that's a great deal, isn't it?
I mean, you get 4 of the premier teams here in the Midwest all in one building. And, I mean, I was fortunate enough to play in one of them. Unfortunately, we did not win the game. But really a cool environment. I mean, you have 4 fan bases all right there in Indianapolis that are able to come into a great venue, see 4 very good basketball teams play.
Yeah, always a sellout. And that'll be a great test for Purdue. Butler's playing better as of late.
Yes.
So after the Valparaiso easy win and tonight a fairly easy win over IUPUI, a stiffer test.
Always tough coming off exams, too.
Yeah.
You have a week where maybe your practice schedule isn't what you've had all season. All of a sudden, you've got these exams. It can be a difficult week here.
But at least when they go into Indianapolis for that game, the finals will be over for Matt Painter's crew, so they'll have that in the rearview mirror. And then Tennessee State, Lipscomb, Rutgers, and Nebraska all here on BTN after that. So if they can get past Butler and go on a run, they have a chance to reel off 10, 11 straight wins here.
And go into conference play with a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence.
Because the start to that Bahamas trip, as we were alluding to earlier, was rough. And then you salvaged it with a win against Arizona, and that's kind of set the floor for a great foundation here.
It certainly did. I mean, what a blessing for Arizona to lose those first 2 games, because it was able to give Purdue a chance to kind of salvage the week.
Klein off from deep. He sits on 9 points. And IUPUI, meanwhile, they're in a new conference this year, the Horizon League. They used to be in the Summit ever since they came to Division I basketball in 1998. Nice finish. That's a really good job by Kirby all game long now. He has 14 points.
He's been a bright spot, and something that Jason Gardner can take a look at and say, maybe we need to get Maurice Kirby some more minutes.
And Gardner's trying to build something at IUPUI. They've had 6 straight losing seasons. This is his 4th year, so the cupboard was bare when he got there.
He seems really excited just about this new conference. I think he's really happy they got into the Horizon Summit League to travel. You see Nogel Eastern make a nice play there on the offensive glass and get himself a bucket, but the travel of that league is brutal. I mean, you're going to South Dakota, North Dakota, you're kind of all over the place. Now you're more in the Midwest.
3-pointer from Ron Patterson. And Patterson's the kid who went to Brewster Academy, the famed Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, and was at Syracuse for a couple years under Jim Boeheim, and now will finish out his career in Indianapolis. Eastern rattles down a 3. It's not the prettiest looking shot, but effective there.
And just a big shot for his confidence. You know, we've mentioned it. He has struggled a little bit. He's going to be a really good player for this Purdue team. Good to see him knock down a 3. Maybe give him a little bit to get himself going here as we progress throughout the season.
He's now 2 of 5 from outside the arc this year is Eastern, who left Evanston Township as the winningest player in school history, really took that high school to another level. And he has 7 points. Great stretch for him, though. The 20 minutes that he got to play against Valparaiso, and now extended minutes here tonight, as you said, to get that confidence up. Must be a great thing for a guy like that, and Harms, too, to have all those seniors, the older guys that lead the way. It's almost like a soft redshirt year. You're not needed every game,
you're
all
not
those
leaned
minutes.
on, but you can really learn. I mean, these guys know, Matt Painter, while he is coaching this team, these seniors are essentially coaching this team on the floor. You're learning from guys, very post of it, just a great job of using his size, but you're really learning from these guys who have been in the program, they've been through it, and that speaks volumes. Matt Painter can't go out here and play with him. He can advise him, he can talk to him. These seniors can go through it, be on the court with him, and help him through kind of some of the struggles that go along with playing major college basketball.
Another bucket for Maurice Kirby. He has 16. That last basket gave 9 points to Nogel Eastern, and that's a new young season and career high for the freshman. A lot of coaches on the floor for this Purdue team. Well, Taylor wanted to go up and throw that down. He got fouled. Final media timeout is here with 3 and change left. And the Boilers cruising down the tracks. Let's take a look at tonight's Duluth Trading hardest working player, no doubt. It's Carson Edwards.
He set the tone from the jump, attacking the rim, getting into the paint, really opened things up for himself on the outside, from the perimeter, and just a guy that he can go for 30 in any game. And I think when you have a player like that, just in terms of a scouting report aspect for the team you're playing, it makes it so difficult to defend you, because even when we guard him and we defend him well, he has the ability to make shots and make tough shots, and that's a skill that a lot of players just don't have.
He's the sophomore that starts around 4 seniors, and a career high 27 tonight. Tomorrow, BTN Live brings you all the news from around the conference, along with interviews and comprehensive bowl previews as well. BTN Live tomorrow at 3 Eastern, right here on BTN. And Shaquille Taylor will toe the line, the junior from Cambridge, Mass. He missed all of last year with a foot injury, and he's been limited to just 27 total games in 3 years at Purdue due to various injuries.
Shaquille's a guy, he had a great summer. I mean, if you watched any of the World University games, whether that was in the exhibitions here in the United States or overseas, he was really active, rebounding, really good rim protector. He just had bad luck. And you feel for a guy that's tried to get healthy and just not been able to do so. And now, Matt Harms has kind of come onto the scene here, and he's kind of been the odd man out, but there's going to be a game where Purdue needs Shaquille Taylor, whether that's foul trouble, injuries, whatever.
And now, Robbie, the crowd going nuts because the walk-on Tommy Luce has just entered the game.
Yes, he has.
And it's not Booze that they yell, it's Luce when he gets out there. He's defending the ball right now. But Matt Painter used to play with his father. That's a connection. Great story in the Indianapolis Star as a three-pointer drops from Nick Rogers by Greg Doyle, talented writer, on Tommy Luce after their last game against Valparaiso.
And Tommy's dad is quite the high school coach here in the state of Indiana and has had a lot of success. Now down in southern Indiana.
Almost lost it. If he makes a shot, folks, this crowd is going to erupt. Top of the arc, that's Ewing off the bench. Eden Ewing from Houston, Texas, the junior with a missed shot. As Purdue winds down, another big victory, up 83-54 right now. Make it 83-56. And with the win here, we mentioned Purdue could really climb in the rankings, up from number 21 with all the craziness that's happened across college basketball as we get a look at some of the Big Ten news and notes. And speaking of Purdue climbing in the rankings, heck, Michigan State very well could be the new number 1.
I think you're going to see tomorrow them end up being the number 1 team in the country. They've really played well, beat some really good teams. Struggled a little bit last night with Southern Utah, but you have wins over Notre Dame, North Carolina, and a tough loss against Duke. That's probably going to get it done.
Impressive come-from-behind win for Michigan over UCLA. And that note, very unfortunate for Wisconsin with those injuries.
I mean, when it rains, it pours, it seems like. And right now, they're not playing well. They can't score the basketball outside of Ethan Happ. But it's just been unfortunate to see that now a guy in Dimitri Trice who's really been through the wars and has some experience here, and then Kobe King, a really promising freshman, go down with these injuries. They're really going to lean on their other 2 freshmen to come out here and do some things for their team. Nate Reavers and also Brad Davison. And those guys are going to be thrust into some roles where they really have to contribute here early.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Wisconsin progresses with those injuries and the issues they've had as the season goes. Crowd very disheartened after Tommy Luce lost that last ball off his foot. Maybe some nerves after the big article in the Indianapolis Star.
He got pubbed up, yeah. Got to come through now. Still time, though. He's got 1:16.
But yeah, Duke with a shocking loss against Boston College. Gosh, Kansas lost twice this week, so they'll be dropped from their perch.
And once at home, too. Yeah. They never lose.
That doesn't happen at the Fog.
I think Eden Ewing is maybe trying to get himself a dunk. He's been extending himself on the passing lanes here and going for some steals. I think every player that's played the game has probably been that guy before. Maybe a little cherry pick action.
You know what I'm excited for in about a minute of action is you interviewing your former coach, Matt Painter.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, too.
I sense some sarcasm, Robbie.
I'm kind of scared. I can't lie.
All right, the crowd cheering. They want Tommy Luce to get a shot up. Look at the handles. Luce. Oh, off the side of the backboard, but he got fouled. He went head to the line.
Yep, Bo Borowski got him.
He did hit a free throw in the game against Valparaiso, did Tommy Luce, and he'll have a chance to do the same here.
I played with a guy, Bobby Riddell, who sometimes, he was loved by the fans as well, and Bobby was a really good player. And I know it was kind of hard for him because when he'd come in the game, the fans all cheer for you because they want you to shoot every time you touch the basketball. And it's like, I can't shoot it from half court if I'm bringing it up. Now, with that being said, Bobby Riddell can really shoot, and he definitely took advantage of that. He got him up, and he should have because he makes shots. But I'm sure Tommy feels the same way.
Oh, the students love it in the paint crew. They all love it here at Mackey Arena. As that one bounces in for Tommy Luce. And then he's going to pick up the foul with 43 seconds left. I don't want to do him a disservice, though. He was a really good high school player. You mentioned his dad, the coach. He could fill it up. No, and he contributes to this Purdue team just like everybody else. You know, I think on good college basketball teams, the walk-ons are so important. And you've got guys that, whether it's defending or simulating a scouting report or whatever, you know, they really are super important to your program, and they help you prepare and they help you win games. The unsung heroes. Ewing, 15-footer, got it. So nice for Eden Ewing to get the points off the bench. 86-59, and Purdue averaging 86 points a game, and they land right on it tonight. Well, the second half has really been a complete performance. I think the first half, they certainly struggled early, turned the ball over a little bit sloppy, but in the end, it's going to go down as a win in the record book, and another step closer to getting, you know, closer to conference play. 6 straight wins for Purdue, and for Matt Painter, it is career victory number 300. In just his 14th season of Division I head coaching. Quite an accomplishment. He won 25 in his first season as a head coach at Southern Illinois, and the other 275 wins have come right here in West Lafayette. Purdue impressive 86-61 victory as they pull away right after halftime, and IUPUI never flirted with getting any closer than 20 after the strong start to the second half. And the 21st ranked Boilermakers are now 10-2 on the young season. Robbie and I mentioned the tough start to the Bahamas trip, but since then they have righted the ship and have been very, very impressive. Carson Edwards, that man, led the way tonight with a career-high 27 points, 11 of 17 from the floor. And now the Boilers can head into finals and relax a little bit before playing Butler in the Crossroads Classic next Saturday. And our Robbie Hummel is with his former coach, Matt Painter.
Here with head coach Matt Painter. Coach, your 300th win. I mean, what does it really mean for you and your program?
Well, it's more important that we won and got the 10th win for this season. So I think for us, just trying to keep some momentum going. We have a big game against Butler here in a week, and so just obviously going through finals right now, then looking forward to that game against Butler.
You know, Carson Edwards tonight able to get it going, 27 points. When he's really attacking and getting his, you know, getting his shots and getting to his spots, what does it do for your offense as a whole?
Well, we really want to look for him to drive, try to get in transition, to get out in space, be able to drive the basketball and get to the rim, and not settle for jump shots. Kind of let the game come to him, but just look to attack. I thought tonight he was great at attacking.
Coach, good luck against Butler, and it's fun to interview you here. Great time. Back to you, Brandon.
All right, thank you very much, Robbie. Great to see you talking to the former coach after his 300th victory. As they celebrate inside Mackey Arena. A little bit of a sloppy start. IUPUI would get out to a 19-10 lead, but then Purdue took off. That's it from Mackey Arena. And the Boilers all over the Jaguars. Coming up next on BTN, The Journey, Big Ten Football 2017. For Robbie Hummel and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying good night from West Lafayette. So long, everybody.